Good morning. Tuesday morning. It is, if I'm not mistaken, 7 May 2024. And we are here in the Florida jurisdiction, we the Brethren of Freemasonry. Now, what I'm going to share with those of the fraternity or those who perhaps are not, is based only on my own opinion and not to be confused with the stance of Freemasonry as a whole. I want to make sure we agree virtually so that there is no confusion as I deliver my particular approach for in-person conversations between other brethren, what we call, or what's known as Masonic intercourse. Let's kind of feel as much of that essence, energy, and chemistry as we possibly can in the virtual environment. What I want to extend to you is a look at the growing productive body. That is right, the correct perspective of a Freemason today. Making sure the coast is clear of traffic. The reason the body is the main attraction is based on the origin of it. It is so original as a product of the natural earth that, to me, it is only fair, let alone just, to focus as much as possible our undivided attention on it. And I'm going to have to delve in a little bit here because the attention I'm talking about tonight is worth or worthy of. It's not just a standing gaze nor stare. I'm Grandmaster, patron, Dr. Victor Williams, PhD, Doctor of Metaphysics. And I'm hailing from the Kent Duke Masonic Lodge, DC jurisdiction. Joining you this morning on an academic journey through the physiology of our shared or collaborative precepts of the universe. Dating as far back as we can remember, we, the human race, have been an existing species on the planet, haven't we? And here we are to count, I suppose, a commemorative year 2024. That is 2024 years, day by day. And of course, it's debatable. We might very well be looking at it, if we so chose to, as 2024 centuries. But again, one might ask, haven't we been in existence longer than that, as we have recorded in history? Haven't we been in existence before our existence became important enough for us to preserve, to remember, to cherish, and to tribute to the great architect of the universe? What we have not discovered is the interpretation of its motives, of its concessions, of its admiration, or its desires to a satisfactorily explanation spoken. We've chase upon chase just to attempt to get our arms around such a theory as what today, by the zodiacal count, happens to be. I have to say, I don't know how to explain this. Nonetheless, since St. Louis in 1998, which is the year after I graduated high school, as well, my birth date be January 25th, 1980. It's when I turned 18 years old. And having relatives in the fraternity prior to, well before I was born, I was initiated voluntary, very charismatically and enthusiastically and optimistically into Freemasonry. From 1980 to 2024 today, 26 years have given me the brotherhood, brotherly love, relief, and truth of brothers in Freemasonry. And I mean it. I'm sure if it was a remote to change this channel, we could change it and we could calculate the frequency and the numbers different ways and come up with each our own window through which to receive this kind of perception. Because, well, devices are not reliable whatsoever unless there is a human in control of its operation, its processing, and its procedure. If we don't just suffice that these things are among us in reality, then it's very possible that we are going to appreciate education on Freemasonry. Isn't that right? For me, It's just that we know as Freemasons other way to get into the mysteries of his or her universe. Besides what it is that we're learning or taught in the lodge. Moreover, we've, in North America only, across the globe, the Order of the Eastern Star chapters and grand chapters. So they're also sisters. And what is being taught in the Eastern Star chapters, we shall suffice as well. It's better than most other sources for information, particularly education, in Freemasonry and in the Order of the Eastern Star, which for me is a pleasure to know, because reality is every Mason is charged to spread Masonic light. There is no ifs, ands, nor buts about it. You become a Mason, you catch the charge, unless you decide something that you're not interested in after all, and you discontinue going forward through the 3 degrees of Freemasonry. That is the first degree into the Apprentice Mason, the second degree a fellow craft Mason, and the third degree a Master Mason. As you can see, I can share a credential that does bear the seal of authenticity of the third degree, which certifies me as a worthy patron. And it goes further to explain that I've been among all Masonic brethren distinguished for my virtues and fidelity to the craft. Thus, as it states on, I'm recommended to all Masonic brethren as such, and supporters of the craft, to wheresoever dispersed to their favor and protection. What is this entailing this morning? Not yesterday, not for the other brethren who've as well achieved the status of worthy patron, not for any sisters of the Order of the Eastern Star chapters, not for any grand lodges, not for any grand chapters. For me, this entails pretty self-explanatory what it already has stated. I expect to learn more about Freemasonry, given the tools I've been given thus far as symbols of appreciation and recognition for Again, fidelity to the craft, etc., etc. Simplify it. I study. I show a desire to learn how to continuously practice being a scholarly Mason, a brother as a Mason among Masons, brothers. Furthermore, as a worthy patron, which does not have a position in the lodge, rather in the Order of the Eastern Star chapter, I'm expected to assist the worthy matron who is the lead in the Order of the Eastern Star chapters when necessary. So essentially, once the Masons become a Master Mason and has achieved and been raised to the 3rd degree, if he so diligently goes on to study and learn and be educated on Freemasonry and the craft, it's possible he might one day become a patron. And then his duties as a patron allot him to the Order of the Eastern Star instead of in the lodge to assist the sisters when necessary. Of course, if the worthy matron, who is the lead of the lodge, the equivalent to the lodge worshipful master, is unable to attend the chapter, there is the associate matron who stands in, like if we were commander-in-chief who can't attend, then the vice president attends, or can't finish the term, the vice president continues the term. It's predecessed by the commander-in-chief. So it is in the chapter for the worthy matron and the associate matron, or the worthy patron and the associate patron, if the worthy patron is not able to attend to assist. The associate patron attends to assist, so on and so forth. Having said that, the look I want to encourage us to engage in the most in our observatory this Tuesday morning is the body, whole body, because in my opinion, it is the most priority element of mystery and originality and authenticity that would suit a Mason this morning. We don't discuss politics in the lodge. We don't discuss religion in the lodge. We don't want to recap on what we've experienced outside of the gate when we're on the gate. And most of today's modern age is swarmed already because of indulging in political affairs and religious affairs. Homes are broken apart. Communities are destroyed. Travesty is among us. The inevitable, well, that's a great point at which to leave it up to each of you to discern and create your own understanding. Again, this is one reason I chose the body. It affixes oneself, at least, me, outside of those superfluous activities, just the roam, just confusion, uh, you know, oblivion. Nothing that one person can say is identical of an experience as us. We're in the body, it's unique. This is one of the reasons why it's appreciated. In most lodges I have been privileged to visit, and certainly in my craft lodge of 26 years membership to date. I was 18 in 1998, and I'm 44 in 2024. That's a January 25th, 1980 baby. So I graduated high school 1997, and I had relatives in the fraternity already before my time, and I certainly wanted it. I was in LJROTC in high school, was already a frat brat. In Freemasonry, since I grew up in a rural area, not much opportunities for success or prosperity. I chose Freemasonry and military as a way for me out. Of course, if you're in Metropolis, or you're in Dubai, or you're in the Big Apple or somewhere that's actually a populace, you might be able to hang around, of course, and find your whole entire life in your own city. Ironically, it is here in Tallahassee, in the Florida jurisdiction of College Town. It's not a ghost town, so to speak, but then again, if you're serious about your education, it's very well a ghost town if there is a college campus here. For again, serious individuals. We're not talking about misfortune or negativity or, the downhill side of things. This is a positive mind building platform, this fraternity. It does not encourage dwelling on negativity or leaving family and friends in the community out of the picture of success and prosperity. We make good men better if that good man can be made better. To be able to be made better, according to some of the monitors I've in my library, which I'm very, very, very humbled about over the years which I've had it, when I became an accepted Master Mason in the Philalethes Society of Masonic Writers in the Minnesota jurisdiction, under the Quarter Coronati Lodge 2076 Correspondence Circles governing, which is recognized as it is the Correspondence Circle of the Quarter Coronati Lodge 2076 London, the United Grand Lodge of England. I received the library upon membership as a gift, comprised of over 7,000 articles, and didn't have to get on my knees or beg or work day for day for them each. And so I've come to understand in some of the monitors that I've access to with regards to the working tools of the fellow crowd in the second degree proficiency. On the first degree, for a candidate, in reference to the perfect ashlar, in order to be carved at the edges and smoothed to a round, smooth surface, that is to be carved from a rough ashlar in a symbolic way in Freemasonry. When a candidate is accepted into the first degree, into a perfect ashlar, in a symbolic way, there must exist some things he needs to get rid of. If he's already perfect, or he's already smooth, and he cannot be carved or smoothed out to a perfect ashlar because he's already smooth, he cannot be made into a perfect ashlar under the working tools of the fellow craft degree. Why is this, Brother Williams? This is because Freemasonry has degrees. And for what learning is worth generally, let's suppose you're just visiting through this life of Freemasons and something further ahead you're looking forward to, and it's not Freemasonry, which is absolutely normal and very common. Just as is brothers who have devoted their entire lifetime over the years to attending the lodge and fellowshipping with the brothers in the fraternity. Similar to the founder of the Bavarian Illuminati, who a year after establishing the society joined the Freemason Lodge in order to acquire skill set he felt would be essential or necessary to build stronger his society. So if that's your case and you've just a moment to spend in Freemasonry, for what your education is worth, you cannot consciously feel the liberty of being able to take what you've learned forward unless you have acquired the third degree and become free to travel at will, at liberty, to join any lodge you rather join, any jurisdiction you choose, etc. So it is essential that in the first degree the candidate be able to be made into a perfect ashlar, because then he can proceed at such a rate to the second degree, and then to the third degree, and then to wherever it is you want to go as a Mason, not just as a human being. So a bit of psychology plays a process here. And again, I want to encourage us today to put our undivided teaching spell on the human body. In my opinion, there's no better instrument, metaphor, than it for such as a Mason this morning to get a hand out, a grip on threads that are keeping the body together based on how we study. And in Freemasonry, the reason why. We meet upon the level of equality, act by the plumb of uprightness, and we part upon the square of virtues. Good day, mate.